It can happen in a second, and it happens more often than you realize.
An Idaho State Police trooper is recovering tonight after ISP says they hit a deer.
The driver says at the time he saw the elk, it was already too late.
When a vehicle strikes an animal, it's very serious, and it can be up to deadly depending on what kind of animal and what kind of speed.
I hit one. I was doing about 35 on the approach up to Lucky Peak Dam. It got up and left, but my guess is it probably didn't get too far.
We know that State Highway 21, particularly this stretch, is a high area for crashes.
In 2022, more than 1,500 accidents occurred between drivers and wildlife, causing nearly $40 million in damages, injuring drivers, and killing animals.
This has been known to be an important migration corridor since the 1950s. It's been recorded by hand on old maps. The previous biologists have always been keeping track of it.
We've identified this specific area through a combination of both GPS collar data from marked individuals and decades of experience from both officers and Fish and Game employees that work on this winter range, documenting where animals cross the highway.
We have two key migrations that come through the area of the project. One is the mule deer migration, the Boise River mule deer herd, and the second is the Boise River elk herd.
There are a high number of animals, about 2,000 elk and 8,000 to 9,000 mule deer.
And they move twice a year through this area that can be considered a bottleneck in their migration, where they have to cross Highway 21 and the Morse Creek arm of Lucky Peak to access their terminal winter range.
Over generations, these animals have learned that this migration is important to their fitness, their survival.
Highway 21 is also a popular road for drivers, with more than 1 million vehicle trips per year on that stretch. So to improve safety, a wildlife underpass was installed in 2010 as the first phase of diverting wildlife. The underpass is working, but as traffic has increased, it's now time for phase 2, adding an overpass. The project was funded through a Federal Lands Access Program grant, with local matching funds provided by a consortium of partners.
The wildlife overpass will allow animals to cross the road safely, which will be safer for them and it'll be safer for drivers on Highway 21.
I hope that it'll cut down on accidents and fatalities with wildlife.
It will increase safety, mobility, and achieve the landscape and habitat connectivity for the animals all at the same time, which is really what the project is all about, protecting people, protecting wildlife.
The overpass is working. Within the first few days of completion, there were already mule deer tracks on the overpass.
So one of the big things that we need to keep fundraising for is the fencing.
What the fencing does is it funnels the animals to the overpass. So if we didn't have the fencing, the overpass would probably be useless.
We want to extend it as far as we can up and down the highway to ensure that the animals go to the appropriate place to cross the overpass. And we will also have ongoing maintenance of it. And so we'll need to keep fundraising for not only this project, but throughout the state.
This is a really important project for Idaho. This is the first purpose-built wildlife overpass constructed in the state of Idaho. So this project is going to establish the foundation for potential future projects around the state.
Whether you're a sportsman, whether you're a hiker, a bird watcher, we value Idaho and our outdoor recreation and seeing wildlife, and so we all have one common goal. Whether it's wildlife, it's human safety, we all want the traveling public to be safe and the wildlife to be safe.